And we're back here live
at Puddle Duck
That's
Lodging.
Right. This is a beautiful place,
It
by
is.
the way.
Very
folks.
nice.
I promise if you get a chance to come out here, you got to see this place.
Yeah, they got a bowling alley in one of the bathrooms.
Just about. I mean, really do. It's crazy. Hey, guys, we got a special guest coming up with us here. None other than the head football coach at Corning High, Mr. Farrell Shelton.
Yep.
Oh, no, I got to start announcing him as Hall of Fame.
Hall of Fame.
Farrell Shelton with us.
No.
Coach, how are you doing tonight, sir?
Doing well. It's a beautiful night, kind of a different deal, not playing, but after since scoring July 31st, it was time we need a break. It was a good week to take a bye.
What a great week to take
Very
a bye,
good,
man.
yeah.
Absolutely.
Hey, let me ask you something too, Coach. I mean, is that kind of your feeling on that? Are you happy that y'all had the bye at the end of the season, or would you rather had it in the middle of the season?
Coach Poe and I were talking about 3 weeks ago. I looked at him and I said, "Man, we need a bye right now." But being able to, to get on through, and it just to me over my years, it's all about timing and for us and our team right now, this was perfect just because we got a couple little nicks and dings that we were hopefully able to rest up and be full tilt on Monday.
Amen to that. Hey, just a heads up for you. You probably already know, but Genoa Central right now up 16-8 in the second quarter over Subiaco right now. So just a little score update there for you.
How are they doing it?
Well, so it's been interesting. So you would have thought, well, there goes Subiaco with another bad snap. Yeah. It's almost like the lights are too big for Subiaco right now early on. But Subiaco came out in their kind of husky formation there. But we have seen Monroe, the quarterback. They have actually spread it out and done a lot of stuff there. And then Genoa's came out throwing the ball. They've been airing it out a little.
Good.
Yeah, Subiaco powered for two possessions. They got stopped both possessions. Yeah. They've been throwing ever since.
Yeah.
All right.
Well,
good. I don't want them to have an identity next Friday night.
That's great.
Well, Coach, obviously Genoa has done their homework tonight. They've came out prepared. Speaking of prepared, I don't know of another coach that I've ever been around that's more prepared than you, my man. And speaking of, we've got some statistics to back it. So this year, we talked about this earlier, but our halftime scores. So just halftime scores for us, Corning, and our opponents this year in just 8 games. It's Corning 210 and the opponent 70. Man, that is having your kids ready off the bus, out of the locker room, out of the field house. That is impressive stuff. I know you take that week leading up to it pretty serious. How much film do you watch each week?
Well, first of all, it's a collaborative deal. It's all the coaches. I mean, we're pouring over stuff. Everyone's got their own. I told them every coach has their own specialty. Whether it be a first down, third down, formations, whatever it is. So I can't do it all, but I know all of us coaches. We probably pour in. Probably over weekend. I think every coach is somewhere between 15 to 20 hours. And it's just not just of our opponent. It's looking at our game film from Friday night, making sure we can get corrections made. And then presenting it into a way that our kids can be successful. Then of course with the things we do, and we practice. When we start Monday, we have what we call our install, and we have all that ready. And then we have our first 6 plays scripted pretty well on Monday. We practice those first 6 all week, and the kids probably could, we probably could just call by numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, because they have a good idea then. And if I watched your guys' broadcast last week, you guys got onto it, how we in those first few series we'll jump in and out of formations.
Yeah.
We're going to do the same thing.
Yeah.
I call it in the way I used to call it was a curveball. Our fastball, we're going to do what we do, run power, run, whatever it is. The curveball is we're going to run power or whatever. We're going to get out of a different formation. And every coach then, what we're looking is where, can we get a leverage somewhere? What's the way that they're aligning to it. And then you'll see us then as the game progresses, we'll start cutting down the number of formations, maybe adding concepts, but we're especially we get to the second half, we're looking at formations that would create a leverage and create numbers for us in that first half.
Man, that's good stuff, Coach. I've noticed a lot of pre-snap window dressing this year that maybe I haven't seen in Corning's history before, and that's some of the stuff that you allude to. I think it's really interesting that you had mentioned something about communication. I have yet to see a play this year where our guys look like we've got too many plays in the playbook. They don't understand it, or the communication. Whatever lingo you're using, Coach, is really working. I've seen very few of the kids not knowing where they're supposed to be. I mean, you guys as a coaching staff this year, it's been phenomenal. Just even the little things. I just got to give kudos to you guys.
Well, a lot of it is when we get done with the practice on Wednesday. The one thing we'll talk about is what needs to be cut. And here's if the kids don't understand it, that is 100% our fault. It's not the kids' fault. So we just say, hey, just cut it. Let's don't be adding. Let's, if we add, we've got to add for the kids. And then sometimes, we think the concept is there, but it just maybe our kids can't do it. We don't understand it. It's not what we're seeing. So in fact, we'll cut it down on Wednesday night. And there's been times Coach Poe and I have talked after Thursday morning. We look at something on Thursday morning. We're like, no, we got to cut that too. So we want to make sure that, we go in on Friday nights with the confidence but the group that's most important to us are, is our kids out there doing it. So when they call a play that, they have confidence in it, and so, and that goes the whole week, but that also goes with how many hours of film that the kids watch. I tell them, especially, as we got into the year and you're getting this time of the year, film is your best friend. I know we have heavy tendencies. I try to self-scout us, and I know Coach Poe does. We try to break tendencies, but every team has their DNA. No matter if it's offense, defense, and they're not going to vary from it a lot, especially in the playoffs. So, if you get into films, you're going to know them, and then it's simply now you have to make the plays.
Coach, I'm going to start giving you a nickname, the Fenton Firecracker.
Oh yeah,
you're from Fenton, correct? Is that where you grew up? At?
Yes, yeah.
Man, you have. It's like you're playing out there on Friday night. You're so passionate, intense is the right word. Does your family, like wife, family members, ever say, "Man, you got to calm it down a little"? Do they ever tell you?
No,
that?
Well, yeah, that's a discussion that went out the window long ago. Yeah, I don't know. I think for me personally, I think once I lose that, I think it's time for me to go.
I don't see that happening anytime soon, Farrell.
God will. It gets tiresome. If you ever see me get after it and go to my knees, that means I got dizzy. I've lost oxygen out there. So,
we'll have to keep that in mind.
And it happened last week. Look at that timeout when I went to my knees and I'm talking to the kids and I thought I was black out there for a second, but
we thought you were T-bowing or praying out there. We weren't sure what.
No. I was trying to stay standing there for a second, but I just, it's a passionate game. There's a time to get intense. I think there's also a time to back off, and the kids will respond either way. And I think it's the fabric of your team. Some teams I could talk to them in this voice, and man, they could go. Some teams you have to be a little louder. And to me, the thing I preach to this team, like the game last week, and what I wanted to focus on is we're not result. Now we're in the playoffs, we're result driven, but it's not about it's the process. And we like last week, we had the game won at halftime, but I wasn't happy with the process of how we got there, because if I told him, I said, if we're not, I said, we got to be better at 9:30 than we were at 7:00. And if we're not, then next week against Subiaco, we're going to be turning our helmets in. The game's won. If you're worried about winning against Rosebud, that's over. Okay. And that's, and to me, that's, if you just want to win, but I hope their aspirations are that, that we can go out there and we follow the process. And like I've told them, if a team beats us, they beat us because we're better than us. Let's not be on the other side of the score simply because we lost it because of our mistakes or our preparation or something like that.
Amen.
Coach, this is Jeremy. We're talking about your intensity. Good teams take on the identity of their coach. I want to tell you this. To me, everybody all year has talked about this offense that we're doing. This defense, week in and week out, the intensity they're playing with. Great job. I mean, just first of all, for the whole season, I want to tell you congratulations. I haven't got a chance to talk to you. But the way this defense is going to the ball, and like I say, they've taken your identity and just ran with it now.
You know, he says that, Coach. I'm kind of curious now. I want to ask you something. I don't know why we've never asked you this, but do you look at yourself as more of an offensive-minded coach or more of a defensive guy?
I was brought up. I played defense in college, and then when as I was coming up, when you're a freshman or sophomore coach, you're everything. You're the freshman long snapper coach, and you're everything. So, but I guess back in the early '90s, I took over as D-backs, and then the coach I loved under that I learned under that I absolutely love, and like another dad to me is Art Mueller, and I get pretty emotional when I talk to him because he was the one who gave me my first break. He made me D coordinator. Now I want to tell you something. You think I was intense? this cat was at a different level. But the thing he taught me was to coach details. He said there was never, and I tell Coach Poe, I was talking to Coach Simmons of Piggott, and I'll never forget when I was young and I'd have to go scout on Friday nights. You had to go watch the game. You didn't get to watch huddle. And you had to break down 120 plays and we'd get back at 11 o'clock. The scouting report was due at 6 the next morning. We had a staff meeting at 6 next morning. But anyway, all of a sudden Art would call me, he'd say, hey, on play 38, you drew a scoop block, but on play 47, you drew a down block. Which one is it? And I'm like, and you're looking at him like, I don't know. And in your mind, you're going, I said to myself, I go, what does it matter? But what it mattered was, it was the details.
It was the details.
And that block didn't matter. But what he was teaching me was, you don't overlook any detail. Yeah. And so when I got ready after Art resigned and I got ready to be a head coach, that was something that stuck with me. I didn't know if I would know the X and O's, but I knew that we were going to coach details to the nth degree. So so that's the way I've always coached defense. It's very detail oriented, and these guys this year, especially our front four.
You got our studs on the front.
Our front four can flat go, and I don't know if we'll play Cutter again, but the coach from Cutter was very, the thing he said to me after the game, he goes, Coach, where'd you come up with that defense at? And I said, he goes, no one's ever rushed 4 against us like that before. And I said, well, if you have 3 blockers and I have 4 studs, I want to say my defense gets your 3. So
my Missouri
that
says.
Yeah. So anyway, that our defense has played well. A lot of them, there's guys behind them. But man, they just want to go. They were an experienced group. I think, they're a very experienced group coming back this year, but man, they get after it. And it's been anywhere from our seniors all the way down to our sophomores. Very well.
Coach, we were very impressed with Baylor Leonard this past week.
Yeah.
Man.
Yeah. Hey, that dude has nothing but gasoline in his mouth. Man, I love that kid. That kid is an all go. And the only thing you hear at him is yes, sir.
That's
yes,
awesome.
sir. Yes, sir. He's the other sophomore, Caden Stanley. Had to come in. And man, just he's been those having 2 sophomores like that get that much experience and getting ready to both of them are going to start in this playoff game, and so it's exciting for them.
Coach, you're running with the defense and some of the injuries you've had, and these sophomores have stepped up, and our defense right now, and I don't want to jinx us, knock on wood, but we've got 11 or 12 guys right there like animals ready to come on the field at any time and go play defense, and that's impressive.
Well, it's a pretty simplified scheme, and again, even if you're coach 11, when you have a D line as good as ours, it makes things simple. I sit there and just simply, it's kind of last one who has the marker. If their front can block our front, well then have at it. But I always figure that one of our guys is going to beat one of your guys, and we're going to have someone in the backfield. And if we don't, then we're going to tip our hat to you, and we're coming the next play too. So
now Coach, we was talking a while ago about the intensity up in the press box. We can see y'all on the field, and we get into that when y'all get hyped up, we get hyped up. But I'm going to tell you, when Coach Poe busts through the door to give you high fives, that makes the game even more intense.
He's out there busting doors down and give us high fives. That's pretty cool.
Well, good.
Hey, Coach, I'm curious to know your side on this, or maybe you don't have an opinion. I don't know, but we've been blessed. Our streaming company, we're streaming up in Missouri full time, and I've seen some things in how they do their high school sports up there, and their senior high is actually compiled, as you know, you've been there for many years, 9th through 12th grade. Do you think, you've been in Arkansas now, do you think that's beneficial for the state of Arkansas if they were to go from 9th to 12th grade instead of 10th to 12th for senior high?
Yes. I because if you play the 7th and 8th, like a junior high, and then you play your 9 through 12, it's now we're a small school, but in a bigger school, or if like last year, I remember our first year there, we had some sophomores that couldn't play. They just couldn't get on the field, so the sophomore year kind of becomes a wasted year. Where in Missouri you could play a freshman JV game, a JV schedule, where you could, and maybe you don't play a full schedule, maybe you just play 3 or 4 games, but you keep those kids interested in it, and football is a numbers game, but I'm pretty sure Arkansas is happy with their with where their system is, but that would be the one thing that I would see change. And having freshmen be able to, or freshmen, you can pull freshmen up now, but having them where they can stay varsity, they could also play JV. You could still count the quarters in a week. That wouldn't matter. The division is just there between the 8th and 9th grade. Yeah.
Well, I think that's an awesome take on that. Yeah. I've always been kind of curious on that. I know Arkansas, as far as a high school, really isn't necessarily known for great football necessarily across the nation anyways. I thought, well, maybe that's when we could kind of level the playing field a little bit. But also, if we ever have another bye week and we go stream again, I'd love to get Coach Shelton on a headset.
Absolutely.
With us. We need to look into that. So I don't even know if we're allowed to. Is there any AAA rules against that? I don't know. We need to look into that.
No, I'll just go live casting, but.
Hey, as long as you don't start throwing clipboards and stuff, Coach.
No, we're fine. Yeah, I don't. I hope not. No.
Well, Coach Shelton, man, we appreciate you taking the time to join us. Real quick update for you. Genoa Central was driving a huge pass over the middle in between 3 guys, and the very next pass, Brady Koch, number 5 in white, picks it off all the way down to the 20-yard line, and now it's Subiaco Academy with the football. 1st and 10 there at the 15 of Genoa Central. So just a heads up, still 16-8 Genoa in the second quarter there. So, Coach, before we get off, do you want to say anything?
Sure.
Any last words you'd like to? Any shout-outs?
Yeah, I just to the players, it's been it's been you get this many years into it, and I just loose term. It's been a fun year. It's a year that has flown by for me. There's been years, I was talking to my wife the other day, there's years I've been, 9-0, 10-1, and I absolutely dreaded, everything, just because the team didn't have the chemistry. This team here, these boys have gelled. Have we won every game? No, but we learn. We've been carried by the kids that we thought, would carry, and we've had some just unbelievable surprises, especially some guys out of the senior class that didn't play much when they were younger, but man, they've come out and they've taken that Bobcat pride, and they've no matter what happens next Friday, I know there's some seniors that can walk out of that program saying, hey, I did the best I could, and I love those guys. The community has been, again, I haven't been there very long, and a lot of people are saying that. The community just has a little bit different feeling to it, and I just, it's just, the kids can carry themselves, and and I hope, the Corning community has, understood it. We did this because of numbers, but it's football. When you get out there and the kids we got, I promise you could play 11-man football. We just simply don't have enough of them. And we had that, but boy, it's been the guys I coach with, it's been the kids I coach. It makes it all fun on every day that we're there.
That's Coach Shelton. Coach, we appreciate you, my friend. Have a good night, and we look
forward
thank you. To next Friday.
Good luck next week.
Good luck, Coach.
Yes,
okay. Here, I tell you one thing. We appreciate everything you guys do. I tell you that much. I have a lot of coaches, the guys that I coach with in St. Louis. They'll have a bye week, and I'll get a text, and they'll say, "Hey, I'm going to sit down and watch CSR at 7 o'clock tonight." And
That's awesome, man.
so last week, 3 of them had a bye, and after we won the game, all of a sudden it came across. It said 7 interceptions, 70 points, and a trip to the playoffs. So, so I tell you what, you guys are reaching way up into St. Louis also.
Coach, always let us know, and we'll give them a shout out. We love hearing that, man.
Yeah, we'll give them a shout out ahead of time next time. So, Coach, we appreciate you, buddy. Listen, have a good night. Good luck next week.
Okay, thank you guys.
See you, Coach.
That was Coach Ferrell Shelton, head coach.